yesterday's remaining portion. So it was basically the so-called handling negative numbers. Okay, so right. So let us begin with this. So we have seen that specifically because we are going to learn microprocessor 8085. So it is an 8-bit processor. So therefore we are looking at an 8-bit thing. So we can have an 8-bit number as using all 8 bits to represent the magnitude or value, you can say. Okay, in that case we know that we vary from all 8 zeros to all 8 ones, and which is nothing but 0 decimal to 255 decimal. Okay, total 256 values, or it is also expressed in hex as 00h. Okay, to FFH. Okay, so this is the hexadecimal representation. Okay, and there is another method by which we can represent the numbers. Okay, it is uh, sign magnitude form. So in this case what happens, the MSB is taken as a sign bit. Okay, so MSB is taken as sign bit, and the sign goes like this. So sign is basically when we have positive number, then it becomes MSB becomes 0, and when it is negative numbers, then the MSB becomes 1. Okay, so that we have looked at. And in this particular case, what happens? The remaining 7 bits are used for the magnitude. Okay, so since 7 bits, so it will be basically 2 to the power of 7. So it is 2 to the power of 7 is basically 128. But we know that in this particular case, we can represent the value from minus 128 of decimal to plus 127 of decimal. Okay, so now we will look at how this is happening. So yesterday also we looked at how to represent a number. So the very basic number is 0. So we will represent it as 0. This is my sign bit. So I am writing here sign bit. Okay, and then I have the magnitude bits. So 0. Okay, and then magnitude goes like this: 0 0 0. Okay, 0 0 0 0. So it is basically, okay, this is my sign bit. So I have positive and it is 0. Okay, right. The value, these values are in decimal. Okay, we are following the decimal over here, right. So these are decimal values. Similarly, to represent plus 1, okay, so we have 0 0 0 0 0 0 1, and here it will be 0. If I keep on continuing this, so let's say again I will write plus 2, so it will be 1 0 0 0, and 3 times 0, and this is my sign bit. which is a 0. Okay, if I continue this, I will reach a stage where it is this particular bit will be 0, and I'll reach 1 1 1 1 1 1 1. Okay, so now you can see that this is all 7 ones. So it is, if you simply convert these 7 ones into a number, okay, you will get the value as decimal number as 127. And since here it is 0, the value comes out to be 0 over here. I'm sorry, not 0, basically it is positive. Okay, so it is positive value over here. Okay, so here from this point to the last point there are total 128 values, right? And similarly the remaining half we will have 128 values. So now let us look at it. After this, when I just put the next number out of after this will become all zeros over here, and this will become 1 over here. Now this represents what? This is a negative sign, that because it is 1, so it is negative. And about the magnitude, you can see here this particular magnitude, okay, this particular magnitude is same as this magnitude, right? So therefore it becomes negative 0. Okay, and it is meaningless to have the negative 0. Okay, basically to represent same 0, positive and negative, it is meaningless, right? After this, what will happen? Okay, after this, what will happen? That I will have now 0 0 0 0 0 0 1, and it is 1. So I will be getting negative 1. Look at it, the magnitudes. Again, it will be 1 0 0 0 0 0 1 0. So it will be negative 2. And if I keep on continuing this, what I am going to get? 1, okay, 1 1 1 1 1 1 1. So it will become negative 127. If you look at it, it is again 128 values. So total 128 plus 128, it comes out to be 256 values. And that also follows the equation 2 to the power of 8 bits. Okay, so this is the general way of representation. But there is a major problem over here, that is nothing but this one. That why we should have two set of numbers just to represent positive 0 and negative 0, because 0 is, or you can say it is, whether it is positive or negative, it is not that meaningful, right? Negative 0 is same as that of the positive 0. We can say that negative 1 is not same as positive 1. Negative 2 is not same as positive 2. Similarly, negative 127 is not same as positive 127, but negative 0 and positive 0, right? They are same. So there are two values which are being unnecessarily used. Okay. So now what we can do with this, right? The trouble starts over here. Okay. So now we will understand, right, that what we can do with this particular thing, and actually this particular value becomes minus of 128 decimal. Okay, minus of 128, and therefore it is said that in the positive it is from 0, okay, to plus 127, and in the negative it starts from minus 1 and it goes up to the minus 128. Now how this is happening, we are going to see in few moments. Okay, so to do this, now we need to understand, or we need to handle the negative numbers. So handling negative numbers. Okay, okay, so now how to do this? So to understand this particular concept, we need to understand the concept called as complements. Okay. So there are two types of complements, COMPLI, MENTS, and other one is COMPLE, MENTS. So we are interested in this complement. Okay. So you can get complements from somebody. Okay. And this is the mathematical complement that we need to understand. Okay. So COMPLE, MENTS complements. So now what is this complement that we need to first understand? Okay. So let's take an example. Okay, I assume that in my course, a student got, say, 60 marks. Okay, so by default, we take that our course is of 100 marks. That's why we are saying that the student got 60 marks, right? But if you want to say this thing, then the sentence, whatever I have written, is incomplete. Okay, so I need to specify that in my course, a student got 60 marks out of 700, out of 100, out of 200, out of how much. So we need to specify that, right? So generally in our examination pattern, we follow it to be a 100, right? So that's why out of 100, right? So now what I'll do, simply I will draw a scale. Okay, so here is my 0. Okay, I'm going, and somewhere here you will see that my 100 value 100 is available. Okay, right? And now the student got 60 marks. So where I should put the pointer, right? So let's say somewhere here it is my 60. So I put a pointer over here that he got 60 marks, right? Now, why we say that he got 60 marks? The question arises, right? Because we are looking at from this particular reference, right? That means he has achieved this much success, right? Out of 100 marks, the particular student has achieved this much success. Therefore, we call it as he got 60 marks. And whenever we are saying he got 60 marks, by default, we are keeping in our brain that there is 100, okay, and the lowest value is basically taken as 0, because when generally if somebody, if your friend asks you how much marks you got in a particular subject, you say that, oh, I got 60 marks, right? So in that case, what is happening, by default you are taking the lowest level as 0, right? And obviously the max level is 100 in our examination pattern. But you must have seen some of the courses where the max level is 150, 140, and so on. Okay, so in that case, also, whenever you want to say that how much marks you got, so people say that, okay, I got 60 marks, I got 70 marks, I got 95 marks, and so on. So, with respect to, okay, so this 60 marks basically it is nothing but with respect to the lowest level. Okay. Now, as a teacher, what I can say that you got 60 marks, fine, right? But I'll say that you got minus 40 marks. Now the question arises, how? Right? The question arises, how? How I got minus 40 marks? Because my pointer is sitting over here. Okay, my pointer is sitting over here. So how you can say that I got minus 40 marks, right? So to say this that a particular student got minus 40 marks, right? I have followed the max level. Okay, I have just followed the max level. That means, right? Because I set the question papers for 100 marks. You solved those questions for 100 marks, and you got 60 marks out of 100. That means you have lost your 40 marks. So you can see that you lost your marks, right? So you lost your marks. So how much you lost? You got a 40 marks. That means what I am doing, I am taking this as a reference and then I am calculating this difference, right? And what is this difference? This difference is that you lost 40 marks. Okay, that means now when I take it as 100, okay, so how much extra effort you need to do to go to the max level, that is 100, that is you have to put 40% extra effort, or basically 40 marks, to reach to the top level, that is 100, and therefore you are less, that's why negative sign, you are 40 marks less or minus 40 than that of your top level. Okay, you may get confused, so let us see another example over here. So let's say I am residing in city A, I want to go to city B, right? The distance between city A and city B, let's say, is 120 kilometers, right? And just assume that I have a vehicle which is continuously running at a speed of 60 kilometers per hour. Okay, then after 1 hour, where I will be? I will be at the distance which is at the center, which is nothing but 60 kilometers, right? After 1.5 hours, I'll be reaching a particular distance where I'll be having 60 kilometers plus 30 kilometers, total 90 kilometers. From where? From where? From A, because I reside in A and I want to go to city B, right? So I am 90 kilometers away, right, from A. But what I can say, I want to go to city B. So I am 30 kilometers still need to travel to reach city B, right? That means I can say that I am minus 30 kilometers from city B. Okay, because my target is to go to city B. So I am minus 30 kilometers away from city B. Okay, so when it is at 1 hour 30 minutes, so my value is 90 kilometers from A. Okay, so I'll write it like this, from A, which is nothing but minus 30 kilometers from B, right? Okay, so same thing, this particular analogy, if you have understood, same thing I am just applying it over here. When you got 60 marks, basically you got minus 40 marks, right, with respect to 100. I'm not talking about minus 40 marks with respect to 0, because if I talk about minus 40 marks with respect to 0, you will lie somewhere here. Okay, so I am not talking about this, I am talking about this L. That's why I said my lowest level is 0 and my max level is 100, that I have initially defined. Okay, therefore we got 60 marks, so your pointer lies over here. That means you got positive 60 marks, positive 60 marks, or you can say that positive 60, right? And I can also say that you got minus 40 with respect to 100. That means these two things, positive 60 pointer, this particular pointer, positive 60 is same as minus 40, right? Provided I have defined my max and mean level. If I do not define my max and mean level, in that case, I cannot say like that, right? So similarly, in the second example, I have defined my mean and max level. Okay, so that means my mean level here is what? 0 kilometers, and my max level here is what? 120 kilometers. And currently, I am at this particular place, so which is 30 kilometers, minus 30 kilometers from point B, and which is plus 90 kilometers from point A. So I need to fix the extremes, that is minimum and maximum. if I can do this, right, if I can follow this particular principle, then in my digital circuits, I do not require any subtractor circuit. Okay. Now let us look at it. So for example, we know that if I want to do this operation a minus b, right, I can do this operation as a plus of minus b. Okay, that means what I am doing, I am doing something more now. For you it may not be that funny, right, why it is so happening and all, because but if you want to implement an integrated circuit for a microprocessor, then you have to reduce the hardware, and in that case you are completely throwing out a subtractor circuit. So when you throw out the subtractor circuit from your microprocessor cannot do subtraction, right? So even if you feed two numbers, microprocessor will not do subtraction. Okay. So here it is very, very important, right? So that a minus b can be written as a plus of minus b, and this representation of a second number b, that is nothing but minus b, is done by the method called as complement. Okay. And what I can do now, say for example, right, say for example, my minimum level is 0, max level is 100, right, that you have to remember. So I want to do this operation, say a number 70 minus, let's say 30. So I am expecting a result, so this is my target result, right? But what I have done here, I have done the subtraction, right? So how I can write this particular thing? 70 using this particular formula. So 70 minus 30 is equal to 70 plus of minus 30, right? Now I need to represent this minus 30 in such a way that actually I am not doing subtraction, I am doing only addition. Okay. So how to do this? So since my max level is 100, as I have already defined over here, my max level is 100. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll just simply do 100 minus 30, right? Because second number is what? Minus 30. So the value comes out to be 70, right? And now what I'll do, 70 plus 70, the result comes out to be 140. Now it is not the correct result because it is not same as my target. But if I ignore this particular additionally generated carry, then I get my desired result, right? And ignoring the carry is not a big deal, right? Than having a subtractor circuit separately and having the adder circuit separately. Okay, so this is the method which is called as complement, right? So now let us look at how we can use the complement decimal system. Decimal number system. So we know that my decimal number system has a value, lowest value as 0 and the max value as 9. Okay, so let us have this scale now. So this is my 0, okay, and somewhere here this is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. I'll use some more space. Okay, so 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, and this is my level 9, right? So now, so this is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 and 9, right? So if I use this particular scale, then what happens here? What happens here? See, this is 0. So with respect to 0, let's say I say a number, 5. 5 will be at the middle, so we'll take some other number. Say a number 3. Okay. So where is 3? Here is 3. Right. So 3 means what? See, when I am starting it from 0, so it is 3. But what is 3? Now you come from 9, right? So it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so it is, you can say it as a minus 6. 3 is same as minus 6. So let's say I want to do an operation called as, say, 3 plus minus, or sorry, just a moment. Okay, okay. So this is minus 6. So I need to do an operation, say, 8, positive 8 minus 3. Okay. So what I will do, 8 plus of minus 3. Okay. So expected result is basically 8 minus 3 is 5. So this is my target. Okay. Now I want to represent this negative 3. So how I can represent the negative 3? Okay. So 8 plus 6, because this can be interchanged, right? So minus, it is written for plus 3 is equal to minus 6. That means, which also means minus 3 is equal to 6. Okay. So 8 plus 6. So the value comes out to be 14. Right. So this is an incorrect answer. Even though if I ignore this particular one, still it is an incorrect answer because my target is 5. So in that case, this particular operation, I am taking the max level as 9. Therefore, it is called as 9's complement. Okay. So when I'm doing 9's complement, then I need to add this particular one, extra one I need to add over here. Okay. So that it becomes 5 and I can achieve my desired target. So this is called as 9's complement because my max level is taken as 9. Okay. Now I can have my max level as 10, right? So I will also put it like this. So this is my max level now. So this is 10, right? So now what is this? Plus 3 is equal to minus 6, right? So here now plus 3 will not be minus 6. It will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. Okay. So in this case what happened? My max level is, since it is 10. So again say 3, it will become minus 7. And on the same ground, minus 3 will become 7. Okay. So again I will do the same operation. 8 minus 3 is equal to 8 plus minus of 3. So desired 5 is my target. In the 9's complement, I need to do an extra operation over here, which is plus 1. But now let us see whether I can get rid of that extra addition plus 1, right? So here, now 8 plus of minus 3 is what? 7. So 8 plus 7, it becomes 15. Throw out this 1. So you got the desired result without any extra operation. Okay, right? That means I got the desired result and without doing subtraction, I have done only the addition, and this particular thing is called as tens complement. Okay, right? So we are not doing any actual this thing. How we are doing? We are just trying to represent the numbers with respect to the lowest and with respect to the topmost. So whenever we go for complement system, with respect to the topmost level, we are trying to represent the negative numbers, and then those negative numbers, if I add, finally I am going to get the result for my subtraction process by doing the addition. So this is the complement method. So on the similar grounds, you can have now complement system for octal like 0 and 7. So it will be 7's complement. If you do 7 plus 1, that is 8. So 8's complement, right? You can go for hexadecimal complement system. You can go for binary complement system. So binary complement system we are mostly following. So I will be taking that particular thing over here. So binary complement system, right? So we have understood that in our decimal number system, we can have positive numbers, we can have negative numbers. Similarly, in binary number system also, we can have positive numbers, we can have negative numbers, right? So for example, the negative number in binary number system is example. Okay, so say one example. So it is 1, 1, 1. So it is minus 7, right? This is in the binary, right? Negative, and this is in the decimal. Okay. So generally, we do not represent the binary numbers like this. Instead, we follow the sign magnitude form. So I can write this particular binary number as 1 and then 1, 1, 1. This one is for sign, okay, and this 3 bits, triple one, they are for magnitude. So it is nothing but sign. This is my sign. Which sign? Negative. Okay, and this is what? My magnitude. What magnitude? 7. In terms of decimal, right? Okay. So generally, this way of representation is not being followed in binary number systems. Okay. So let us look at what is this binary complement. So we know that in binary number system, we have the lowest value as 0 and the highest value. I am talking about the number system. Okay, I am not talking about the actual thing, or you can say that the lowest level of binary is 0 and the highest level of binary is 1. Okay, so now I will draw the scale. So here it is my 0 and then here is my 1, right? So now let us look at how to get the complement of a given number. Okay, so say I have, say my number is 0, right? So if I want to do the complement, right, let's say I have a negative 0, that is not possible actually. So if I want to just go for the complement, what process I have followed over here? Or let's say in this case, this 3, this positive 3 is from 0, same as minus 6 or minus 7, depending upon 9's complement and 10's complement. Let us talk about 9's complement. So it is nothing but minus 6 because I have started from the max. So here also you need to do the same thing. So if I want to represent the number 0, okay, just a moment. If I want to represent the number 0, in that case, I can represent the number 0 with respect to the lowest level, so it will become 0. And with respect to the highest number, that is 1, so 1 to 0, so it will be represented as 1. Okay, right? So you can say that it is 0 and then it is 1 because there are only 2 levels. Similarly, when I want to represent level 1, so it will be represented as level 1 with respect to 0, and with respect to the negative value, right? Okay, it will be represented as 0. Okay, so that's why it is called as simply inversion. Since it is binary, so 0 becomes 1 and 1 becomes 0. Okay, that is simply inversion. And this, what max level we have followed? So the max level was 1, therefore it is called as 1's complement. Okay, right? So that's why it is called as 1's complement. Now if I give you a binary number, say example, a binary number 101101. Okay, so it is the binary. So what will be its 1's complement, right? So it will be just inversion. So wherever you find 1, okay, so this one will become 0, then next 0 will become 1, then there are 2 1's over here, so they will become 2 zeros. Okay, I'll just put it like this, and then there is 0, so it will be double bar I will put, it will become 1, and then there is last one, so triple bar I will put, so it will become 0. So this will become 1's complement of the given binary number. Okay, so basically you can say, think it like this is positive binary number, whatever was the value, and this will become negative binary number, whatever is the value. Okay, because we have also seen that when we talked about positive 3, it is same as minus 6 in 9's complement. Okay, or you talk about minus 3, it is same as positive 6 in 9's complement. So similarly here, this particular positive number is negative number like this. And as I told you that in the binary number system, we do not write negative of binary number system. Okay, we generally do not follow this method, we follow this particular type of method, right? Okay, so this is about ones complement. Now similar to the so-called tens complement, okay, as we have looked at in decimal number system, we do have a so-called ones complement plus 1, which is nothing but 1 plus 1 is 2, so it is called as 2's complement, right? Or you can think it in this particular fashion. Okay, 9's complement, because in decimal number system we have maximum value as 9, and then we are just adding 1 to it, then it becomes 9 plus 1 10. So I am using two digits of decimal number system, that's why it becomes 10's complement. Similarly here, when you add 1 plus 1 of binary, it becomes 1 plus 1 is 2. Okay, so it becomes 1 0 of binary. All these are binary values. Okay, so that's why this 1 0 is in decimal, it is called as 2, okay, of decimal. Therefore this method is called as 2's complement. Okay, right? So what is this 2's complement? 2's complement simply can be obtained like this. 2's complement is, you just obtain 1's complement. How to obtain the 1's complement? It is simply invert each bit. Okay, invert each bit. So when it is 0, so it will become 1. When it is 1, it will become 0. And then add 1 to it. So it will become 2's complement. Okay, right? So this is the process. So let's have one example. Okay, so let's say my original binary number is 1111010. Okay, or I'll use a little bit smaller number, okay, for initial understanding, and then we will go for bigger numbers. So 1010 of binary. So it is nothing but my 10 in decimal, right? 10101248. Yeah. So now how to get the two's complement of it? That will represent the negative number of this particular thing. So it will be first one's complement. So invert each bit. So this first one MSB, it will become 0. Next, it will become 1. The next, it will become 0. And finally, last LSB, it will become 1. Okay. So you can correlate it like this. Okay. Any trouble over there? Okay. If you have trouble, I'll rewrite it for you for simplicity. Okay. 1 0 1 0. This is my original number. One's complement. So just simply invert each bit, 0 1 0 1. Okay, so now when I just do 0 1 0 1, okay, what it means in decimal? So it is 10 decimal initially, it is now 5 decimal. Okay, and now in 2's complement, what I'll do, I already got 1's complement. You have to just add plus 1 to it. Okay, so I have to do the binary addition plus 1. Okay, so there are simple rules of binary addition. I will just here I will mention it. It is rough work. Okay, simple binary addition rules. So it is 0 plus 0. And just remember, after you do any type of addition, there are two things you are going to get. One is the result, the other one is the carry. So I'll just do it as C for carry and some result for S. Okay, so 0 plus 0, the sum result is 0 and there is no carry at all. 0 plus 1, the sum result is what? You are adding 1 to a 0, so the sum result is 1 and no carry is generated. 1 plus 0, the sum result is still 1 and no carry is generated. And then 1 plus 1. Okay, in our decimal system 1 plus 1 becomes 2, but in binary there is no such thing which is called as 2. So what happens? 2 of decimal is same as 1 0 of binary. Okay, so this 1 becomes my carry and some result becomes 0. So this is the simple procedure that we can follow in generating the or follow, in doing the addition of the binary numbers. Okay, so now we are doing addition of these things, right? Okay, so again 1 plus 1, so you can follow 1 plus 1 is 1 0, so 0, I have to forward the carry to the higher level, so it is 1 over here. Again now 0 plus 1 is basically 1 and the carry generated is 0. 1 plus 0, the result is 1, the carry generated is 0 and 0 plus 0 is 0. So this is basically 6 of decimal. Okay, so you can say that 10 of decimal is nothing but in one's complement it is minus 5, right, or it is minus 6 in decimal. Okay, right, or if you take it as a sign magnitude form, then very easily you can see that it is minus. In sign magnitude form the values will little bit different. Okay, so in sign magnitude form it will be 1 0 1 0, so it is minus, this is what, 2 of decimal. One's complement will be 0 1 0 1, so it will be positive of 5. Okay, and this thing 2's complement becomes 0 1 1 0, it will be positive of 6. Okay, all these values they are in the decimal. Okay, right, so this is all about 2's complement. Okay, so whenever you want to represent any negative number in binary, you have to mostly follow the 2's complement procedure, right? So now therefore again I will come back to my initial part, and yesterday one student has asked me a question how to represent the negative minus 128. Okay, so here it is, right? So I have given this that using this particular number minus 128 is being represented. So let us see whether it is actually how this thing happens. Okay, so we have we are taking, so we are taking, say we want to represent minus 128 of decimal. So how to do this, right? The question arises how to do this. So simply with sign magnitude form, we can represent it with 8-bit. Okay. But remember, to represent any negative number, first we have to just compute its positive number and then just compute its equivalent binary. So we'll follow that process. So 128, only the magnitude we are looking at, not sign and this thing, sign and uh, uh, whether it is positive or negative sign, we are not looking at, only looking at the magnitude. So 128 of decimal in binary. Okay, so it comes out to be, when you do the calculation, if you follow the formula, so let us do it very quickly. Okay, so 128, 2, 4, again 2, 42, again 2, 16, again 2, 8, again 2, 4, again 2, 2, again 2, 1, again 2, 0. So you can see here, only here you will see a kind of remainder, right? After that, everywhere there is a 0. Right? Okay. So this 128 of decimal can be represented as 1, 0, 0. Okay. 0. Sorry, I'll write it little bit with some space. So 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Okay. So this is my positive 128. Now you will ask question, why don't you go for positive 128 in that case? But remember, we are following which form? Sign and magnitude form. Okay. So I cannot represent plus 128 with this, right? Because sign becomes 1. So it shows that since the sign bit, MSB bit is 1, so it shows that it is a negative number, right? So I cannot represent positive 128 with this. So now I want to represent the negative 128. So negative 128, okay, to represent, first I will do the so-called ones complement. Just do the ones complement of this. So it will become 0, then 1, 1, 1, again 1, 1, 1, 1, ones complement. And then you have to just add, this is ones complement. You have to add logic 1 to it, okay, and here is the result. Now 1 plus 1, the formula or the rules are given. 1 plus 1 carry is 1, sum is 0. Okay, so 1 plus 1 it is 0, so the carry is 1. Again 1 plus 1 it is 0, the carry is 1. Again 1 plus 1, 0, carry is 1. 1 plus 1, 0, carry is 1. In the circle, whatever I am writing, that is nothing but carry. Again 1 plus 1 it is 0, carry is 1. 1 plus 1 it is 0, carry is 1. 1 plus 1 it is 0, carry is 1, and 0 plus 1 is 1. Okay, now you just look at this particular number and this particular number, they are what? Same. And this is what my minus 128. So minus 128 we can represent with sign magnitude form also. Therefore, the positive range from 0 to 127 and negative range from minus 1 to minus 128. Okay, so total it becomes 256 values with sign magnitude. Okay, so this is the way minus 128 can be represented, right? So now this thing is same as this thing. So question may still be there, why don't we go for positive 128? But here you can see that the first bit is sign bit, so it is 1. So it shows that it's a negative number in sign magnitude form. And here you can see that it is 1. So okay, we can understand that this is minus number, negative number, and this value shows to you or is nothing but the so-called 128 magnitude. Okay, so this is the way the things are expressed. So now I'll suggest that we can also write this particular set of numbers, positive 1. Okay, a positive 1, there is no trouble. Now we will be writing negative 1. Okay, using this particular method, 2's complement method. So before that, I need to write the positive value. So 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1. So this is my positive 1. 1's complement. So it will become 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 0. Right? And this will become 1. 2's complement. So just add plus 1 to it. So it will become 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. So this is your minus 1 of decimal. Okay. So this is 2's complement representation of the positive and negative numbers. Now you can do the remaining also, like minus 2 if you want to try, that also you can do. Okay. Fine. So I think this is all about the numbers, the number systems, their conversions, their representation, okay, and their usage. Okay, so there will be assignment 0. It will come in 1 or 2 days to you. Okay, there are lot many problems. You have to solve those problems, and there is no alternate solution available. Okay, you have to do the practice. That's only the solution by which you can handle these numbers comfortably. Okay, right? Okay, so very quickly now, I'll just introduce to you regarding the logic, okay, and then we can stop for, okay. So now using this particular numbers and all, we are going to follow the, we are going to develop the circuits. So before that, basically what is logic? So we are going to develop the logic circuits. We are going to develop the logic circuits. So let us look at the logic circuits. Now, logic circuits, they can be of two types. One is called as combinational circuits, and the second type is called as sequential circuits. Okay. Now, we will begin with the combinational first, and then after combinational circuits are over, we will be going for sequential circuits. So, what is combinational circuits? So, combinational circuits is basically, you can define it like this, that the output of the circuit at any instance is depends, or it depends on the inputs at that instance only. Okay, so let's say I can denote it mathematically, that y of n, okay, is or sorry, I'll do it something. So f of x, okay, this is my function where x are my input and f is the operation that I am going to do. So f of x at any given instance n is same as x of input x at that particular instance n. Okay, this is about combinational circuit. And about sequential circuit, basically combinational circuit do not have any memory. Sequential circuits will be having memory. So the output for sequential of the circuit at any instance depends on the inputs at that instance and previous outputs also. Okay, so we can say that f of at any n x can be x at particular n plus f of n minus 1, n minus 2, or in general n minus k of x. Okay, so this can be represented like this. So we are trying to develop the logic circuit. So let us look at what we mean by logic. Okay, so logic means, or basically why it is called, the question is why it is called as logic circuit, because they try to mimic our human logical system, the thinking. That's why they are called as logic circuit. So here logic means mimicking the human thinking. Okay, now what is this mimicking? Say So if I take an example that you have two tickets available for a cinema, and you are going, and one of your close friend is going. If both of them are going, then only the movie is meaningful to you. Okay, if this is the situation, then you and the other party both need to go to the cinema, then the cinema will be meaningful. Okay, so such type of logics can be categorized into broadly three types, you can say. Okay, it is called as and logic, then we have or logic, and we have the not logic. Okay, so if somebody asks you, do your study, don't waste your time, so you'll say, I will not do the studies. Okay, so not type of thing, so it is and or not. Okay, so these are the three different logics available, and correspondingly we will be having the different logical gates. Okay, those logical gates will be used to design our circuits to do particular operation. So when you are using and gate, so it will do the and type of operation, or it will implement and logic for your given circuit. So what is this and? Okay, so let's take two input cases. Two input case, it will be easy for understanding. So let's say I denote the inputs as basically I have a black box. Okay, this is my black box. There are two inputs going in. Okay, and there is only one output. So let's say Y is the output, A is the input, first one, B is the input, second one. So A and B, they are my inputs. Okay, A and B, they are my inputs, and I will have some outputs. This output is given a name as Y. It is not mandatory. Okay, you can write it as x1, x2, or z, or anything, or x1, x2, p1, anything you can write. But generally, what the people are following, that the English alphabets they are going to use, and the initial alphabets like A, B, C, D, etc. They are generally taken as an input, and the last alphabets like W, X, Y, Z, etc. They can be taken as an output, but there is no such restriction. Generally, this is being followed. So when A is, let's say, yes, oh, sorry, A says no, okay, that means person A, person B also says no, so output becomes no. When A says no, B says yes, output still become no. Okay, when A says yes, B says no, then still output becomes no. When A say yes, B also say yes, then only the output becomes yes. So this is nothing but the behavior of this particular black box. Okay, so this particular behavior of black box is called as AND behavior. Okay, that what it means, when both A and B, okay, inputs are yes, then only the output will be yes. Output Y will be yes. Now I can write this particular thing in terms of binary number systems. So input, output, A, B, and Y. So 0 means no, yes means 1. Okay, then the output becomes like this. And this way of representation of any logical behavior is called as truth table, because it resembles the truth. Okay, in AND gate you cannot have, in AND gate if any one of them is no, you cannot get the output as yes. Okay, so it is the truth, okay, that when AND gate is being used, okay, so when both the inputs are available as yes or 1 1, then only the output will become yes or 1. Okay, so this is called as truth table. Okay, both of them are truth table, the way of representation is only different. Okay, so this is the truth table of AND gate, okay, or my given black box. Now similarly we can work for OR. Okay, so OR logic. Okay, so OR logic, what it says, again the truth table. Okay, so inputs, outputs. Okay, so it is A, B, and again I am following the Y. I am following the similar nomenclature over here. That is nothing but this black box. Okay, now I am trying to look at the behavior of that particular black box. So say no, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes, yes. So it is when both are no, then the output is no. Otherwise, if any one of them is saying yes, okay, the output is yes. Binary format. Okay, so again inputs, outputs A, B, Y. Okay, now I am writing very quickly. 0101 0011 111. So this becomes the truth table of OR. Okay, it becomes the truth table of OR. And the next thing is NOT. Okay, so whatever comes in, you are throwing it exactly the opposite. So if somebody says you do this, you will say that I am not going to do this. Okay, so this is the output. So let's say I have one input in that case, output is Y. So when I say no, it becomes yes, and when I say yes, it becomes no. Okay, in binary format, again inputs, outputs, A, Y, 0 will become 1 will become 0. Okay, so this is the truth table for NOT gate. Okay, so or not logic or not gate. Okay, so this AND, then OR and NOT. Now remember one thing, whenever I want to say about AND or not, I need, if it is a logic, then I need to follow capital alphabets, and when it is an English and, I need to follow the small alphabets. Okay, so and, or, and not taken together, they are called as basic logics or basic logic gates. Okay, right? So based on this, let us understand how I can design a circuit for AND or an not will be an homework for you. So let us design a circuit which exhibits AND behavior. That means I am trying to develop my this black box for AND. I am trying to develop this black box for AND. So let us look at how we can develop this circuit. It's very simple. Okay. So let's say I have a battery source. Okay, and there are two switches, switch A, switch B, and the light source. Okay, so this is the positive terminal, negative terminal. So now when switch A and B both are open, okay, will the current flow? So it is no. Will the LED or bulb will glow? The answer is no. Okay, so again I will write it like this: A, B, and LED is my output basically. So 0 0 output is no bulb is glowing. Let's say I close the switch B. Okay, A is open. Will the current flow? So the answer is no. Will the LED glow? No. Okay, let's say I close this A and open the B. Okay, then will the current flow? Answer is no. LED glow? Answer is no. When I close both of them, right? When I close both of them, then only the current starts flowing, and then I can say that the LED will glow. Okay, so this is the equivalent circuit, or you can say AND type of behavior or AND type of logic. Similarly, I am trying to develop my black box for OR. So again, the same circuit, not same circuit, the same components I am using. This is my switch A, I have a tap over here. This is my switch B. And here is the LED. Okay. So again, I'll write it like this: A, B, LED. Okay. So now when A and B both are open, so I'll write it at 0. Okay, open circuit. So LED will glow. So output is no. So it is 0. Let's say I close circuit switch B. So the current will find a path like this. Okay, and there will be LED will be glowing. Let's say I close the switch A. So the current will find a path like this and the LED will glow. And when I close both of them, so there is no trouble. Okay, the current will flow and I will get the output as 1. Okay, so now it's a homework for you. Try to develop similar circuit for not logic. Okay. Okay. Now these and or not, they are basic plates.
Sir, sorry to interrupt you.
Ah,
Sir, actually, we were having ACD lab at 4.
okay. So you should have informed me. How much time is now?
Sir, now it's 4:14.
Okay. Okay, then I'll stop here and the derived gates will start in the next class. Fine.
Yes, sir.
Okay then.
And sir, one more thing, sir. Tomorrow there is holiday, right, sir?
I do not know. Okay. Even if there is a holiday, we'll take a class. No problem.
Okay, sir.